Welcome to our latest video chronicling a 5-year journey across the roads of America. Rubia, where are we today?
We're in Chetumal. It's a city we thought we'd just pass through. We weren't planning to stay and live here.
No, not at all.
Just sell a little, buy a few things, and keep enjoying more well-known, more touristy, more promoted places.
But what happened? The quarantine hit us and we were forced to stay locked inside the house. And these days we've been realizing and confirming something that's been happening to us throughout the whole trip, and now we're going to tell you about it. Welcome to a new video of our 5-year adventure traveling across America and showing you what's it like to live traveling 2 people inside a van in a space that's 2 meters by 1. We are Cynthia and Andy. In the last video, we discussed our current situation with the migration permit, which remains unresolved, but we're confident we'll solve it. And we also introduced you to the new member, who, from now on, is joining us on the journey. For today's video, this quarantine gave us the time to look back on our travel story, and we realized how many challenges we've been through, and how many lessons we discovered along the way. We confirmed the best part of the trip doesn't always come from picture-perfect places, and that the less picturesque corners of the road can fill our lives with color. Thank you for joining us again. Remember to subscribe and turn on notifications to hop on the Estanciera and join our American journey. These are the 7 cities that left a mark on us, for reasons that have little to do with the place itself. And the first city, which we've already mentioned a bunch of times, that left a mark on us and where we had to stay for a long time involuntarily, was Cochabamba in Bolivia.
That was due to the engine repair. But beyond what we learned about solidarity and how people can help us, how did that specific experience leave a mark on us? We were there for about 3 months or more, I can't recall exactly. And now if we close our eyes, we can still smell the scents of that city. Images come to my mind of a rainbow we used to see from the window whenever it rained. When someone says Cochabamba, for us it's a world full of sensations, colors, and scents that come rushing back to us. It's not just another city now, it's a place we experience firsthand, mingling with locals and visiting the market.
Absolutely. Arriving home after a tiring day at work, where we were cleaning the engine and the gearbox. I hope there's something to eat. Oh, how cute. Cochabamba is indeed a relatively touristic city, but for us it means much more than that because of what Cindy was saying. Allowing ourselves to be part of the people, to be part of the market, to be among those who ate fruit or the portions sold to you on the street. Right now we're watching how she peels a potato super skillfully. I can't believe it.
It looks like she says she doesn't even look.
It's like we were part of that city and we lived it, and it stuck with us in a totally different way.
We lived it as citizens, not as people just passing through.
And that's what this lifestyle allows you, this kind of journey, traveling slowly and being able to really live in the places. Another city that left a mark on our hearts, branded forever, was Arequipa. What happened to us there was incredible. In fact, we started to make a decision that could have changed the whole trip.
This might not even exist.
And this might not exist, exactly.
In Arequipa, the journey almost ended.
In fact, for about 3 or 4 days, the journey had come to an end. Because we had already made a lot of repairs to the truck in Bolivia.
Second gear would jump into reverse. It jerked and we were taking it to the ranch's workshop.
We said, well, whatever we hadn't fixed before, now with this, it's done. It kept breaking down, and in Arequipa, the gearbox broke again, something we had already fixed.
For us, it was very frustrating because we had little money with what we were making from sales and having to fix things we had already fixed. It was like, woo!
The workshop assistants, who are highly professional and dedicated, would say that on top of everything else. How did they come out with this car like this? This is all wrong. You can't go on. Go back to Argentina and fix it. And for us, between the little money we had and the frustration of it breaking down again and again, our spirits dropped and we started heading back to Argentina.
After leaving the workshop, we decided to start heading back.
Yes!
We started traveling the Peruvian roads, going along the coast, up and down, heading back south, heading back to Argentina. The decision was to go back and then see what we would do.
But it turns out that on that journey, as we started to clear our minds a bit from the situation, being on the road, the truck was working fine for at least a few kilometers. We said no, we like to travel, we want to keep traveling, we don't want to end this trip, but we have to make a decision. We have to accept what this reality is, and the reality is that we left with a very old truck without preparing it. So there was a 90% chance that the situation would continue as it was, going from one repair shop to another.
It wasn't going to change magically.
It wasn't going to change magically. So we had two options: sell the van and continue the trip some other way, or accept that the van was going to keep breaking down. And that time spent in the workshop was also travel time. And we were going to face it with the best attitude possible.
Hi Facebook friends, we're at the main square in Tacna. We want to make this little video to thank you for all the messages you sent us on the page. In the last post we made, we had a bit of a tough week. Our spirits fluctuated significantly.
And we were a little tired already because it closed.
Yes.
Fixing it over and over again.
In the end, we managed to fix it and got out. A few kilometers after leaving and driving a bit on the road, well, we started to realize that the main thing was to get out, right? To get off the tracks, to get going.
And that we're not going to give up. I mean, we're going to keep learning and look for plan B, C, and D, the options we had in mind, both to earn income and to maintain the van. And well, let's continue.
We divided the trip into stages, and the first stage ended in Colombia. And we said, if when we get to Colombia we keep suffering with these mechanics, with the breakdowns, and with the money spent on mechanics,
Can we make another decision?
so with that hope, we arrived at the border between Peru and Chile.
And we went back into Peru.
We retraced the entire route with renewed energy. We anticipated this new attitude change, but it turned out to be a learning experience.
Yes, that's what it was. It was about assessing the situation, weighing options, making a choice, and taking greater responsibility for it.
Atacama Desert. And Cynthia is driving.
My promised daily kilometer. I've already done a kilometer.
But you owe one. For the other day when you said we were going to start, do you remember?
18 straight of
How do you feel? Very
good. I hope I don't run into any changes or anything.
So Arequipa was another city that really left a mark on us. Not just because of the experiences we had there, but also because of the decisions we made. "9,000 kilometers. Continuing our journey along the roads of America, we arrived in Latacunga, Ecuador. Another city where I didn't fit in at all. It was gray, ugly, rainy. But we needed to sell, so we said, well, we'll spend the night, sell in the morning, and continue the journey. While selling, Peter and Celine, two Uruguayans who lived there and owned a spectacular hotel, came over and invited us to eat. How could we say no to them? We went, met them, and also met their friends. At that point in the trip, Cynthia was fixated on making charts, lines, measurements, and all that stuff.
I spent day and night looking on Instagram and YouTube for videos on how to convert the interior of the estanciera into a camper, so that we can have the kitchen inside and not have to be outside anymore, and so we can have a sofa during the day and a bed at night. I would take measurements 3 or 4 times a day, and I had different plans drawn in a notebook.
The van was uncomfortable until then. We had a board as the bed, cooked outside, and had trouble taking out the small gas tank. So Sin came up with all these ideas saying, no, we can be more comfortable. And she was designing it all in her head.
And then one of Peter and Celine's friends showed up and we told him about this thing we wanted to do.
And about 2 days later, the gentleman calls us and tells us he has a surprise for us.
And the surprise was that he had bought all the wood. He had a brand new set of tools that he bought and had never used. And he offered us his house, his garage, so we could work on the interior of the van if we were up for it.
We were up for it.
We were up for it.
Right away we said, no, this is what we want to do. It was tremendous, but the change we had with the van after that was amazing.
So Latacunga gave us friends and it gave us a renewed van. And it taught us that when we have a clear vision of what we want, things fall into place in ways we could never imagine. San Antonio de Pereira.
Yes, what can I say? San Antonio de Pereira was a city where we didn't want to be, we didn't want to stay, we wanted to go somewhere else where we could sell.
But it wasn't because of the city, it was because it was Holy Week. It was our last big weekend to gather the money we needed to cross into Panama.
We had to sell 300 paintings and wanted to find a tourist spot to collect the funds.
We were kicked out of nearby tourist spots, including Guatapera.
We couldn't...
We went to Santa Fe de Antioquia and they kicked us out. There was nowhere to stay. It was unbearably hot. Luzma and David, the family hosting us in San Antonio de Pereira, they repeatedly urged us to return, promising help. We eventually agreed to go back. It was incredible.
We made a sign where we wrote, "We need 300 paintings to raise the money to cross into Panama." People were really into it as they'd buy a small painting, then we'd cross out and write, "We need 299.
We would take a picture of them as they were all on the phone.
And we kept uploading them to the old Facebook. Luzma, the owner of the house where we were staying, what an amazing salesperson. She phoned her friends, selling them multiple paintings each, and insisted while they talked, which we overheard. We said, oh my god, we wanted to bring her on the trip to help us sell all the way to Alaska.
Well, take a look then and tell me. Would it be 3 or what? Let's wait for her to tell us.
Personalized little frames for everything. The dad for his company had me make the company's vision in 5 little frames.
Tinta would stay up late into the early morning painting. It was crazy.
I got a stiff neck.
Because it was painting and painting. We sold a lot and it was incredible. We stayed how long? About 2 weeks in total, more or less.
2 weeks.
But we ended up raising the money to cross, and we got along really well with the people we were with the family that was hosting us. But everyone in the town would walk by and see us and look at the sign to see how much we still needed. It was crazy, and we celebrated Sin's birthday.
My birthday was on Easter Sunday.
We were outside a restaurant, and they brought us bread and a few items for Sin's birthday from inside. It was an incredible, unforgettable experience that left a lasting impression on us.
So, a city we were resisting because it didn't fit with our sales goals. We were looking for something more touristy. Ended up surprising us. We made a lot of friends, we had a lot of fun, we challenged ourselves. We said we have to gather the money we're missing now, so what do? And it was this game where people felt like they were a part of it, erasing the little squares we were missing.
People encouraged us on Facebook saying, well, we're almost there, just a little more. They really supported us. It was a beautiful experience. We raised enough money to cross into Panama and continue our journey through Central America, thanks to that beautiful experience in San Antonio de Pereira. Well, and speaking of places that leave a mark and that are not at all touristy, we have to tell you. Where did we stay in Panama?
Well, this situation begins a bit earlier because we were in Puerto Viejo in Costa Rica and another country that was incredibly hard for us to sell.
It wasn't too hard. Costa Rica was complicated.
When another traveler does well, nothing for us. We had to make a crucial decision. One choice was to continue to Nicaragua. Unsure, we sought advice from fellow travelers. Did it look hard to sell? Going back, you never want to go back.
Even less if you don't have the resources, if you're short on money. Go back?
And we didn't know if things would go much better for us. I mean, things had gone okay from Panama to Nicaragua. We didn't know. We made the difficult decision with our eyes closed to say, okay, let's go back and see. We might be wrong, we took the risk, but we're going back. Honestly, we stayed in an amazing place.
No, it was a paradise. If you're planning your next vacation in Panama, you have to go to the gas station.
We spent 121 days working intensely. Cynthia painted pictures while I edited videos and assisted with sales. It was an amazing thing.
Moreover, the specific issue with this gas station was that they wouldn't allow you to sell it or convert it into a business. I would sit in the truck making small paintings and curious people would come over, look at them and ask questions. We sold in an incredible way.
It was something...
Being hidden like that, in the truck under the blazing sun because it was a gas station, there were no trees. Panama, how many degrees is it? 55 in the truck.
From hell. 3 degrees more or less. It was crazy, but anyway. Those gas stations had the advantage of having showers, Wi-Fi, and air conditioning.
The food was relatively cheap. We ate rice and lentils, chicken.
4 months, it was crazy, but anyway. This gas station became a milestone in our lives. First, because of the strangeness of living in a gas station for 4 months. People looked at us saying,
Part of the landscape.
part of the landscape, totally.
But above all, what happened at that moment was that we said, we like making crafts. But as a hobby, I made little frames and things at home as a hobby, not as a lifestyle or income source. But there was also another desire to do something that gives value, that helps others. And what we started to notice was that there were a lot of messages from people telling us that by watching us, they felt encouraged, that by watching us, they felt they could also pursue their dreams or those big desires they had. So that's when we said, well, that could be a way to give something without even realizing it. We were showing that things can be achieved, and we discovered that we wanted to contribute something more, like being able to help others, even if it's just fulfilling the dream of traveling, in a way that's less difficult than what we had gone through. And we're in that process of figuring out how to communicate it better, of how to help others. But it started to take shape at the Turple in Cologne. Another place to mention, which isn't a small place but a country or a group of countries. We can talk about El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala.
Aha!
It's that we confirmed what had been happening to us throughout the whole trip.
They always warn us that the next place, the other city, or the other country is dangerous, and what we always did was take the necessary precautions. But if the place tempted us, or if there was something that called to us inside, we would go anyway. The truth is, we've confirmed that we'll continue this behavior, even if warned about a place's danger. We'll investigate, be cautious, but if it beckons, we'll go. What happened in El Salvador and Guatemala with the people we met was incredible.
We can't believe the affection those people give. They were incredible experiences.
It was crazy. We set dates for people to come and take a picture with the truck. A lot of people came. A lot. It was something where we spent the whole day there chatting, talking. They shared memories of the videos and stories they had seen. They showered us with food, affection, gifts, absolutely amazing things. And if you go by what people say about those countries, you probably wouldn't want to go. But we went and saw for ourselves that it's really worth visiting them. We had a great time and it was really nice to enjoy it with those people.
We confirm that we'll keep doing it. If a place calls to us, we'll go beyond what people say.
Traveling is worth it. Traveling is worth it.
And the last city that will be marked in our journey and in our experiences is this city, Chetumal. As mentioned before, we were just passing through when quarantine caught us here. We had to stay, and here we started to shape what began to take form in Panama. Honestly, it's indescribable.
No, I mean, we still can't sum up the impact that we're going to experience in our lives and on our journey from this city. Because besides, it's not just all the changes we're making ourselves, but also the change that's happening in the world with the pandemic, with who knows what else.
Absolutely.
So we'll find out in the future, but we do know that the changes we're making are significant. We realize there are many things we need, things we had postponed that we're going to pick up again, and that we're picking up again. So big changes.
Yes.
We're really excited.
We're even starting to develop personal projects, taking advantage of each person's talents and desires. They're in their infancy and just starting, but we love it and are excited and motivated. And we know that Chetumal will leave a mark on our lives, on our journey, because of everything that's starting to take shape from now on. What we do know is that Chetumal at the very least brought us Olivia. We've named the spinach thanks to all the comments you left us. Most of you voted for Olivia.
Because of Popeye or Olivia?
We're thrilled to welcome Olivia as a new member on our journey, and we're so glad we made this video to share the exciting news.
A compilation that people had been asking us for, from different cities, from the experiences, from everything we went through. Just know that a lot of cities were left out of the video. We couldn't include them because
there were so many experiences?
And we didn't want to make such a long video either, because we know that people in quarantine don't have that much time. So we said, no, we're not going to cut it, but we loved making this video.
So if in the past we left out a lot of tourist spots, or if in the future we leave out other tourist spots, it's not because we don't like them. They have beautiful things, comforts, and their own glamour, with the chance to meet travelers from all over. But what we set out to look for with this lifestyle was really experiences. Some of them we find where we want,
And sometimes we're destiny.
or where the estancia decides. And well, we're learning more and more not to resist. Because this compilation video also helped us see that the places we resisted the most are usually where we make a lot of important decisions. Because we didn't like it or something big happened.
Or a lot of lessons too.
So let's keep practicing more and more. Try not to resist right away those places we don't like. The first impression or the ones that force us to change course. Or when estancia acts up because we know we can get really nice experiences out of them.
And we want to ask you, has any of you ever had to go through a situation like this? Where you had to stay somewhere that wasn't what you expected? And you ended up learning something, you ended up making a decision. So tell us in the comments, because we always really enjoy reading those kinds of comments.
So thank you very much for staying with us until the end of this video.
Thanks to everyone who joins the live chat every Saturday for the premiere. The number of viewers grows each time, much appreciated. And if you want to be at the next premiere with the live chat so we can talk and answer your questions, subscribe to the channel, enable notifications, and see you next week.